I've had this 24-inch charbroil propane grill for the past 8 years, and we really enjoyed it. Recently, you've started to notice that these have been rusting, so we haven't been cooking on that. We've only really been cooking on the upper surfaces. But you know what? I kind of want to utilize the whole grill, so let's replace these elements. It took about 5 minutes to clean out the entire firebox down here, and you can see that the heating elements have completely rusted through, and this is where our carryover tube currently is. That is completely rusted out. Our new kit, of course, will have all new items, but since the directions aren't that great, I want to take note of how all this looks now. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to start taking out the burner elements, getting ready for my new ones. I should tell you, this is not a very clean activity, so expect to get dirty. First thing we're gonna do is pull out these cotter pins. I'm just gonna break these off because I tried removing them by hand and it wouldn't come out. So pop this off. We can end up taking this piece out. You can either choose to keep the plug that's back in here or take it out. Because the new pieces that we have come with their own plugs, I'm actually just gonna swap them out even though the other ones were in good shape. That way I have the new ones installed. To install these, you actually want to put the end that connects right into your propane feed in first, and then you can fit this side in. Then again, if I have to take the plug back out just to make it fit, I can. That's how you want to have it set, but this end should go in first. Here's what it looks like from the other direction. You just want to make sure this part gets fed right into the area where your propane gets fed through. Here's a look at it from underneath. You can see where that burner actually connected to the tube that sends the propane from one side to the other. Now that I'm locked in, I know that we're good to go. That part locked in, we put our cotter pin in. I always put them the same direction, just make sure the curve is up. Now this piece is locked in, and well, let's go on to the next piece. This, of course, was the easiest side. That side was a little more challenging to get out. I ended up having to use a pair of pliers and just snap it in half. So that's something you might have to do just to get it out. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna clean up all this area underneath, and then we're gonna talk about the igniter. That's probably as much as I'm gonna clean this out. Now I know that it's not perfectly clean, but guess what? It's gonna get dirty the first time I cook. So if we take a look at the igniter, I push the button. Mine still has a spark, so I technically probably would keep it. Although with this video, I am gonna replace it. To avoid the possibility of any kind of shock, even though it's just a little shock, I'm gonna pull this out and pop the battery. This battery is actually your first line to check to see if your igniter doesn't work, but now that's out, mine won't have any power. If we look right up here, I'm underneath the grill, and I took the propane tank out. Right up here is where your igniter will plug into. You can see that wire comes in. Honestly, it's just a push fitting, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this one out. This is the original one, so let's pull that out. I just have a pair of pliers, a little bit of pressure, and it pops out just like that. You can see where now we are going to put our new igniter wire into. All right, so through this hole right here, we're going to fish the wire in, and now we're going to go underneath and connect it. It was a little more challenging to get in there than I thought it was going to be, but I was able to squeeze my hand in there, and we plugged the wire right back into the igniter. Now things are back up and running. This is what it looks like from underneath. Now that I have this igniter through and hooked up, I will say this wire is a whole lot longer than the last one, so I'm gonna have to tuck this under just to keep it away from everything, make sure it doesn't get burned. Now we wanna hook up this igniter to the actual burner. There is a right way and a wrong way to do it. You can see how this part of the side is narrow. That is the wrong way. You definitely want it on this side that's wider. What I do is I put them on the bottom first, hook that, and now I just put a lot of pressure to try to get this to snap into place. Now, the pressure I'm putting on is on this metal piece, not the white igniter piece. Let's see if I can push this into place. There he goes. All right, so I think it's clicked into place, nice and tight. Some people I've seen actually use pliers to spread this out. I think if you could do that without spreading it out, you're often in a better place. Now to assemble this, it's the same thing as I did before. It's a little more challenging with the burner attachment. You notice I do not have my plug down here on this end yet. I will in just a minute. Let me get this hooked into place. There, now we can go put our connector piece in. I probably should have tested this earlier, but we have the battery back in. Oh, we got a spark going on there. It looks like it's working. Before we install our carryover or crossover tube, let's just see if this works. We're gonna light the grill. Oh, can you see that? The flame all lit up. Boy, that is so cool. Now we want to install the carryover or crossover tube from one side to the other. So you're just gonna pop your cotter pin out, slide this in, and this is just expandable. Now from one side to the other for me is 8.5 inches. This carryover tube looks like it might be just a scotch too small. Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna end up having to order one that's a little bigger. Let's see if I can get it to work at all. All this does is carry the flame from one side to the other. You can see that I have this opening facing towards me. All right, so I was barely able to get that to work. I am going to order a new one that expands at least past 9 inches, just so I know I don't have this weak point in the middle. I'm excited that the replacement crossover tube has arrived, so I'm going to install this now. Now, clearly I've been using this grill, but you can just light it with a lighter if you don't have the crossover tube. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take off the 2 cotter pins, and then I'm going to run my crossover tube across from one side to the other. With the 2 pins removed, I'm going to put this into place. Now, remind you, the gap is facing me, so I'm going to put this on one side. I'm going to stretch this all the way across. Now, the goal for me is to have these as close as I can from one side to the other, but look, there's still space here, so this is a strong piece, and it's not going to fall apart like the original. Try to fit in these cotter pins just to hold that into place. That might be a little tough, but that's okay. It's also a good time, if you can, to screw down this little screw piece so it's almost touching the end. You don't want to have that all the way up towards the top. Both cotter pins are in place. Now we're going to test out to see if this works. We have our flame guards in place. I haven't put the racks back in. I just want to test this out. So I'm going to start up the main burner. Oh, that lit up real nice. Now let's do our other side where we just installed with the crossover tube. So that hit, oh, you see how fast that lit right up? Guess what? Our grill has been put back together and it's fully functional. With everything put back together and working, we are now ready for another season of grilling, and maybe, you know what, I'll get another 8 years out of this grill. In this video, we are having a complete overhaul on our grill. We replaced our carryover tubes, our igniter, our grill burner, heat plates, and our grill grates. So, was it worth it? First things first, let's talk about that price point. If I add up the price that I paid for all of my replacement parts, I had $10 that I spent on the replacement carryover tubes. I spent $20 on my grill burner and heat plate, and then I spent $47 on my grill grates. That totals $77. I looked up comparable grills to the one that I have right now, and they range between $370 and $400. And so if you take the lower price, just by me replacing the elements myself, I saved right around $290, because realistically, the rest of my grill is in solid shape. I said earlier that I've had this grill for right around 8 years, and I have not replaced any of these pieces. Now that I know how easy they are to replace, I'm probably going to do it every couple of years, especially the grill grates, just because, man, I stopped using half of my grill because they rusted out. Now I know how easy they are just to replace those pieces, and they're not that expensive. Anyway, that was my entire review where we replaced the inside working components of our grill. If this is something that interests you, I'll link everything that I use down in the description below. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and hope you have a great day. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review where we replaced the components of our grill. If you want to know how I clean my grill, I'm going to link videos right up here, and I would love it if you would click on one of those links. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at those reviews. So go ahead, click one. They're safe. I promise.